staying cool. Oh, hey, it's not smoking anymore. Welcome back to the second episode of the free 240Z. We find ourselves on the Texas-New Mexico border with only a few hundred miles separating us from home. The further out of elevation we go, the less power the 240Z is having, making keeping up with traffic next to impossible. With the hot sun looming overhead, we decided to take it easy. We didn't want to push these cars too hard as we had a long way to go and a short time to get there. Our friends had to be back at work the next morning and we didn't want to waste a lot of time. We decided it was best to keep the air moving over the engines because after all, the Volkswagen is air-cooled. But we did stop at one place on the border, and when we did, we were greeted to this. We stumbled across these beautiful dirt roads leading out to seemingly nowhere. The backcountry and the hills are just too beautiful for us not to pull over and take a few glamour shots of these two vintage machines. And before we knew it, we were already back to Texas. It felt good to cross that state line with these two cars, knowing that we'd come so far with such few issues. After knocking out a successful day of a few hundred miles, we took a break in Amarillo at a place called the Big Texan. It's cheap food and high prices. I would not recommend it, but it was a welcome break from the highway. Whole thing, all at once. Whole thing. Oh, yeah, buddy! Oh, damn! That sunset's nice. Alright, you got it. Hit it. Oh boy. Left lane, pay attention. Pay attention! Allie! As we got back on the highway leaving Amarillo, all we had left was an easy 300 miles until we were home. So we just kicked back and enjoyed the ride. How we doing, Allie?
So good.
How do you like the 240?
It's really fun. These seats, oh my gosh, these seats were made for road trips. They're so comfortable.
How do you like that gearbox?
It's wonky.
It's a nice little drive, real pretty. Got a beautiful full moon keeping us company. Got Casey out in the front, Josue's keeping it tight behind us. Nice and bright lights, gotta love that. But yeah, it's just been an easy, smooth trip. Really changing pace for the old 10 o'clock boys. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's so many. Fun fact, each one of those red flashing lights is actually a giant windmill. This particular part of the Panhandle is home to the Wildorado Wind Ranch, a 16,000 acre plot of land housing over 160 windmills. Each windmill is 260 foot high and the prop is 120 foot long each. When complete, they're about 380 feet from the ground to the tip of the tallest blade, or the height of a 32-story building. Unfortunately, we were not prepared for what was about to happen. Okay, so checked it this morning and I checked it around afternoon. This radiator was filled to the brim. Now I'm not seeing any radiator fluid of any kind anywhere except for right here on top of the radiator. We're going to give it all the water we've got, kind of fill it up because we ain't got much water. I'm also tempted to pee in this bottle and then put it back in there because I do have to pee and we don't have any more water. You know what we're gonna have to do?
I don't think that's a good idea.
What?
Why would you do that?
That's the only liquid we have.
So, don't we have enough to get us to Wichita Falls?
I don't know.
Okay, well let's try it. I don't think we should put beer in there.
So you want to save the beer? Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea either.
Then don't do it! We should be fine to get to Wichita Falls. Let's just try.
The header bolt broke off right there. Yep. See with the little brackets just kind of hanging off? That bolt, the head of that bolt's gone. I don't think that's going to be the root of our issue, but that's something to take note of.
We have my water bottle that should be in there too. Oh no, you know what? I finished it in the Volkswagen van.
Oh my god, Allie. Alright, well, I'm going to go pee in this bottle. Everyone's going to need to pee in this cup. This is not enough.
Why would you put pee in there?
It just needs water. That's not enough pee. That's not enough pee to do anything. This poor car. This poor car. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. I gotta go get my way to pee in this bottle. Wait, got so far. We're so close. But we jinxed ourselves. But let's look on the bright side. No one got hurt. We're all here together. I don't have to work tomorrow, but unfortunately you do. It wasn't smoking at all when we pulled up. And we were idling right there. It wasn't smoking at all. And it just started right there. The oil's clean. Oil is clean.
Want me to run it?
Is that there's no water present in this oil.
Right.
Sorry, Allie.
You ain't going?
Casey's on his way here right now.
Oh.
It's his car, his responsibility. We'll let him see what he wants to do.
And then just send me my location.
Alright, roger that.
Bye.
This gas station's not going to be happy about this. But I'm going to pop this hose and potentially leak fluid.
Ooh.
Oh, that's clean. Wide open. There ain't no fluid in there. There it is. There we're at the top. So that's like 1.5 water bottles plus that amount to get it to the top. I think we were just completely out of fluid, which is concerning because where did the water go? The engine bay is dry, oil is full and clean.
So it's not mixing.
It's not milky.
I mean, our two options are push it here, I'll stay here overnight, and make a run in the morning, and then start wrenching on this thing, or we throw that stop seal.
You try it, yeah.
I want to go see if they have it.
Yeah. You know, I'm skeptical about that stop seal stuff, but this is the best time as any to try it out. I think it's snake oil, but it'd be cool to see it work and it actually do what it says it's supposed to. I mean, at this point, what do we have to lose?
Nothing really.
No,
It's
nothing.
not even our car.
But they don't have the radiator stuff here.
We're not
Well,
close to anything.
I haven't looked through all the stuff that I got. It's gonna be like a bottle that looks like brake fluid. ATF. Scotch guard, spray sealant, gas airflow sensor. Park it, I'll stay here tonight and just go get that shit. Actually, I'll probably roll up to a Wichita Falls, hit a Walmart. I should have just gotten that shit when I was there.
Because
I wanted to see it.
we close at midnight, right? To Walmart?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Wichita Falls might have a 24-hour, but I don't think so right now. I mean, it's just gonna get worse and worse. I was trying to think of something thicker that we can add to the water. Dude, I've heard people just adding like pepper. Literally just taking things of pepper, dumping it in there, and if it flushes through, it'll clog it more. It might not last long, but it could limp it to
Does
Wichita
that
Falls.
kitchen have pepper in it?
Well, they'll have pepper because it's a Subway.
I stole it all. It's, so get this. She just had a guy come in hauling a flatbed trailer a few days ago asking for the same thing. This might be crazy enough to work. So the thought process is the pepper will hopefully find the clog or it'll leak and clog it up, that damaged little bit of gasket material. So we will take an infinite number or a finite number of these little packets and pray to God it doesn't do any other damage.
This is the first time I've seen this before.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was crazy until she mentioned another guy was doing the same thing. I was like, well, that is wild.
So let's explain how the pepper's gonna work.
So, to the best of my understanding, one of these cylinders has a gasket that has blown part of the seal. So it's allowing water into the cylinder. Hopefully this will find that little separated piece and clog it up. It's a very temporary fix. It might buy us a few miles without causing any warp to the head and or other potential issues. Dude, these are like the smallest little packets.
Yeah. Car's not spicy enough.
Probably started circulating and then she's
All right.
gonna watch the smoke and moderate it.
Sounds good.
can be used to seal small leaks. Pepper is another unlikely tool you can use to stop a small leak in your radiator long enough to make it home or to a garage for repairs. When black pepper is introduced into the system, the small particles travel to the leak where they expand and seal the leak. The pepper does not deteriorate and will seal the leak until you get it fixed by a professional. Think about it, it's got to go all the way through the radiator, through the little cooling jackets, and then pray to God enough of them stick in the right spot.
Sure, you actually need the whole thing in there.
I think we're gonna need a lot more because that's like a little key bump of pepper in each packet. Whoa. I think it's gonna need a lot more pepper.
Well, it's not even. Oh, here we go. There's the tip. That should kick the flow on. Let's see if it's moving. That's so much water.
That's a lot more than it was, yeah.
That's just spraying water. Alright, more pepper.
Better do it now before it gets hot. And,
Yeah, I got up to about 220. It should have opened. It shouldn't do anything. How many are you doing at a time?
that was 4. That's my personal best.
I'm going for 7.
Ooh, you hear the coyotes? They're right across the highway. You ever seen that Saturday Night skit with old Gus Jenkins? They're like a special forces squad.
Yeah.
He's like, sir, shouldn't we, be a little bit more covert? I'd be more worried about coyotes if I were you. I'll sneak up, and on my signal, you guys attack. Well, what's your signal? And he starts banging on the pots and pans on his shirt.
Water in there. Buckets. Colby. Any more dry runs? 'Cause that's
Holy cow.
That's what blew that
It
gasket.
literally took 2 gallons.
That was full when we started it.
So it's 4 in the morning.
Don't exaggerate, it's 3:25.
That means that you're probably going to make one by 6 in the morning.
Allie, can you call in sick?
I don't know.
Really, ideally, this is the best place for it to break down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at home would be better, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is pretty good. This is a close second.
It's staying cool.
Oh, hey, it's not smoking anymore. I got jokes.
That's green.
Sun just came out the front.
God dang it.
Oh, shit. I can't tell.
Oh, wait.
Do it. Do it.
This hasn't been plugged in the whole time. Your overflow. Where's your reservoir?
Yeah, we haven't had that this whole trip.
There's no overflow reservoir?
No, that's just been hanging by the radiator.
What? Yeah, that's where it's leaking from. It's getting hot and just shooting out of that. Let's find out where this thing
Oh,
goes.
wait. If it's got a blown head gasket now, it's going to be pushing water, like push-pull, you know, the piston's going up and down. It's going to be moving that out of the radiator, so that would make sense if it's pushing it out of that system.
We can plug it or try and make a little reservoir. But the reservoir needs a return.
You must stick it in a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, but the reservoir has a return. That goes up to the bottom, and then when it gets too hot, it sends it back into the radiator somewhere.
My Jeep doesn't. It's literally just a tube. I always wondered, I'm like, it's supposed to pull it out, but I think what it does is it draws the vacuum low and it pulls it up out.
Okay, fuck it.
Ellie, that's called being an engineer.
There we go. If that was pushing all that top stuff out, let's add a lot more pepper to it again.
Stupid idea.
I think we're good. That's a lot of pepper. No smoke. What the fuck? It worked!
Pepper, duct tape, water jug.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna burn one and then fill you up with some pepper. Hit the road.
Unfortunately for us, our repair was short-lived. That whole way up, every time we went down the hill, I was turning the engine off because my thermometer gauge was just sitting there smoking like a son of a bitch too. Is that Casey?
Hold up.
Yeah, so, hey, that, I don't know how like reliable my thermometer gauge is because it's all over the map. Keeps fluctuating like crazy. And on those downhills, I was just coasting because I couldn't tell if the engine was red hot or if it was just a bad gauge. Everything's looking the same as it did at the previous stop. So I think we should just keep going.
Yeah, I don't know where you guys are. Like I pulled over at 2 different gas stations and waited at both of them, but I didn't see you guys. Yeah, I think I'm way ahead of you guys. But I'm gonna pull over and get some stop leak and then send you my location.
Okay.
Some prayers. Let's get the fuck out of here. Full thermostat. Get this fucking thing in here.
Stand in place. What is that?
I'm really, dude, really glad you rolled the window down there.
Woo. We'll get another gallon of water.
By this point, we had only slept a few hours over the last 3 days, and we were just spent. Whether or not the car made it back was now irrelevant. We didn't care. We were going to push this thing until it either made it home or it blew up. Well, we did it. Both cars made it the whole trip under their own power, but I feel so bad for this little motor. It's running on like maybe 2 cylinders. She's not happy. It's gonna need a little bit of love. Oh, a whole lot of love. Yeah! Woo!
That last like 3 miles, you were billowing smoke.
I think this engine's done.
Engine?
I couldn't get it. I think it's got maybe 2 or 3 cylinders. And I couldn't, like, to get it rolling, you have to rev it out by, like, a little slowly building.
Could just be waterlogged with all that stuff. I don't know.
It's fucked. Like, it is bad. But, yeah, it could just be waterlogged. Oh, my God. Hey, you want to do us a favor?
Drive you home?
Yeah. Decent people, poor life choices. It's all in the works.
I was annoying this girl with my positivity.
You filming?
Yay.
Yeah?
Yay.
We made it. Yeah. 800 miles.
Got about 1 or 2 cylinders left on the 240. That one will not. That one does not want to idle. It just drops down, and if it wants to bounce back up, it idles super high, so that air fuel is way off.
Come here, check this out. So we put some stop leak in the radiator.
Air fuel, it's just tuned for the mountains.
To stop a leak, and it stopped the leak, and then it proceeded to fill other holes. This is a breather that comes out of our valve cover that goes right in front of this carburetor. So somehow, stop leak that was put into the radiator system made its way into the top of the valve cover breather. Therefore, I don't know if that breather goes into the block, because we checked in here and the rockers, at least this far forward, look clean. But somehow, mystery goo got up in here.
I don't get it. I don't get how water gets in the top of the valve case.
I know it's just a couple 10 mils. We can pull it later. Not anytime soon, but later.
It's
Check
trash day, dude. I'm gonna
Roll it to the curb. Everything else, man, that suspension's great. Brakes were good. Tires were great. It was cold. We popped the thermostat out because it was just clocking all the way out to max temp, and then it would open and go back down. This is going out, and now that whole last 2-3 hours was just negative degrees. Engine block was cold. I was cold. But it made it.
better than cracking it.
Yeah, better than overheating and cracking the heads.
Yeah, it's salvageable. All right, let's just slap a turbo in it.
Turbo!
1-cylinder turbo.
One Hiroshima hairdryer.
Tokyo tornado. And someone didn't leave their car here, so now I have to drive you home.
Actually, that was my bad. Because you said you were going to give me this car, so I was like, oh, we'll just drive it home.
Yeah.
And then
How
that
are you
went
gonna
out
take
the
3
window.
people in there? There's 2 seats.
Well, I forgot about fucking Josue. He always Ubers
Well,
me
don't
anyway.
we all?